right, here we are on a Faithful Friday. Faithful Friday here on Good Morning Huntsville. We need to make this like one of those old school country type shows. Remember that growing up? You'd always hear that real distinct like country type voice, and it just got you in the, I don't know what I'm saying. You know, you kind of feeling like the old school traditional radio stuff when you're a kid and Grandma has it playing in the background. Did y'all ever have any of that going on?
Like an old radio show or something?
Yeah, just something like that. And something that you distinctively remember growing up.
I remember my grandfather on my dad's side, she was practically deaf. And she would watch old Marvin Zindler, ABC 13 News, Eyewitness News. She would God almighty, she had a TV in her bedroom. And she had a chair right in front of the television, and she would have that thing all the way up. You could be at the end of the driveway at Elks Drive and still hear that TV blaring. Yeah.
Well, I distinctively remember Taylor Radio, Taylor, Texas, and there was this it was like one of those cooter type voices. And I mean, that voice was distinct to that community. When you thought of that guy, you thought of Taylor, Texas, the Taylor Ducks. And it was some Taylor Radio, AM radio. My grandmother had this old radio set. There was a guy in Georgetown named Donald Scroggins, and Donald went over to, he wanted something to do. He needed some money. That's how this started. He needed some money, and he told my grandmother, well, I've got this radio, and he goes, and I'm going to try to pay you back, but if I can't, I'm going to give you pawn this to you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try hard to pay you. And it was only a few bucks. The poor guy didn't have any money, and my grandmother said, well, that's no problem, Donald. She goes, yeah, just leave the radio here. And he goes, now I'm going to tell you, if I can't pay you back, you can keep that radio. So that was already alluding to I'm not going to pay you back.
Yeah.
And he was an honest man. It wasn't like he went and hawked this radio down the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, of course, he
Take it from one person's house to the next.
Yeah, keep moving it on. Well, it turns out that, he never did pay. And it was, my grandmother said it wasn't nothing. It was like $5. But she had that old radio, and it was one of them old radios. You remember the ones back in the day that it was almost like it was this leather material, and it had buttons on it, and that's how you would open up the battery compartment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this thing was old. And she'd always have that thing in there on the kitchen windowsill on the Taylor radio, especially on Sunday mornings, and it was the old classic gospel music. And then that voice would come on. It's Sunday morning here in Taylor. And here's what's going on. Here's the obituaries and the hospital report. They did the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the hospital report, man.
Jim Smith, room 202.
The infection got worse overnight.
Oh, people call us all the time. Did you hear that so-and-so's in the hospital? No, we haven't. Well, I was trying to get an update.
It's like it's HIPAA violation. They don't tell us that anymore.
It's really kind of hard to call up there and say, hey, this is Billy with the funeral home. How's everybody doing?
It's like, did you know someone? Well, I'm trying to get an update. Has he passed yet? That's the update they're looking for. God. Well, hey, welcome in
I got to tap dance on a lot of my stuff. I got to be very, very careful.
Oh yeah, I'll carry it for you. Don't worry. And then we'll circle it back to the good old days. Well, hey, welcome in everybody as we get rolling here on a very faithful Friday. It is December the 5th, and this is already episode number 645. 645 times we've been able to speak to you in the morning. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers, online at elliotsjewelers.com. And, of course, Billy CAUTHEN, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our foundation sponsor on a Friday.
6:45.
Yeah.
So next week when I'm here, it'll be 6:50.
This May, if we can keep that thing going.
Wow.
If we can keep it going, yeah.
We can pay the lights one more month.
Is that right? 650?
Yeah.
You'll get one of those cool numbers.
I'll finally get a cool number.
We're going to skip the episode 666 though.
Yeah, let's not do that.
We'll hop over.
But hey, for 650, I think we already have that balloon drop that I've never got to be a part of.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we can do a little teaser if we get things. Maybe we can do a little teaser from the new studio.
Maybe
we'll open it up on a Friday.
We went and looked at it this morning, and y'all just be ready. It's going to be a powerhouse, cool deal.
Be ready and get sweaty.
But don't be messing with Betty.
Yeah, please. Well, hey, we are here, man. Welcome back. I know it's been a couple of weeks, Billy. We had the Reverend Rev Up the Power with Jeff Powers.
He had a blast. I talked to him at church. He had a blast. Yeah. he likes, it was fun for him to come do this.
We did a little AI. I sent it by your way first to get your approval, and you said go with it. And see, that's when the AI works in your favor. Mm-hmm. So we did a little picture of him. He was kind of in a racing suit on a car, and the car had sparks coming out of the back of it. I've never seen a race car with sparks coming out of it. Have you?
When you watch the wrecks.
Yeah, that's when it happens. So it was fun though. We had the Rev on from Christ the King Methodist. I enjoyed having him on. It was fun. And then last week with Thanksgiving, no show. What did y'all do for Thanksgiving, man? Give us a Billy Coffin family update.
Well, my mother had back surgery the day before Thanksgiving. Day before Thanksgiving.
And I heard she had to go back or something.
Well, right? She had back surgery here a while back, and 2 of the screws that they put in her back to hold the rods into place, the heads of the screws popped off.
I think they do that on purpose sometimes.
Yeah, I think we're going to get us a good attorney is what I'm thinking, but neither here nor there. It's about time I get an inheritance of something. But she had to go back, and I guess they had to tap and dye the old ones out and put new ones in or something. But this was the day before Thanksgiving, so I'm like, there is no way they're going to cut this lady loose on Thanksgiving. And she even said, don't come up here and see me. I'm going to be out of it. Just don't worry about it. Maybe they'll let me go home Friday or Saturday or something. I said, okay, Mama. Jacqueline takes her up there. They spend the night. They do the whole pre-surgery prep thing. And, and James went with them. And they finally get her off the surgery. She comes out. She goes in recovery. She goes into a room. Jack and James check on her. Go home. Don't worry about me. Thanksgiving morning, we get up, boy, and as you can imagine, there's pots and pans banging and flour going everywhere. And we're doing your traditional Thanksgiving thing. The turkey's in the oven, pies are getting ready, cakes are, we're getting there, right? And at like 9:30, I guess, I get a message from my mom. Okay, I'm ready when you are. I send her back a message. I'm like,
Thanksgiving morning?
Yeah, Thanksgiving morning.
Wow.
Thanks, the day Turkey Claus comes to town.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, you mean like you're ready for us to come visit you? She's, no, I'm ready for you to come get me. I'm like, have you ran that by the nurses yet? Like, do they know of your plan? And she's like, yeah, they're telling me you can come get me whenever. How are you going to? She ain't even been in the hospital 24 hours, and you're already cutting her loose.
Did they have the surgery that day?
They had it the day before Thanksgiving. Wow. So I mean, she's laid up in a bed with bandages and all this, and drainage tubes and all that. And they talking about come get her, which my mother's kind of a difficult patient, so that might have been a leading factor for. Please come get her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's how we spent our Thanksgiving. The kids stayed at home, and me and Jacqueline drove to Tyler at 103 miles an hour.
Good, nice. So she was all the way up in Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, her sister lives in Oakwood, and her sister had a back surgery several years ago, and she just brags about how great this doctor is. So my mother's like, well, he's so good to Gene, I want him to work on mine. My mother doesn't sound like that, y'all. That's just, the nagging mother voice in my head. So that's who she wanted to do the surgery. So whenever she has something done, Oakwood to Tyler's nothing. But from Huntsville to Tyler's, y'all can imagine, is a pretty doggone good trip.
So did you get the Thanksgiving? I mean, you were obviously late to the Thanksgiving lunch then, right? The lunch?
Yeah, we were like chewing on a turkey wing as we were walking out the door. I mean,
was it just you and Jacqueline went?
Yeah.
So what'd the kids do? Was there other family there?
No, they entertained themselves.
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, and that's the great thing. You're not at this point yet, but my kids are older, so they can entertain themselves.
They can hum-haw and twiddle and do whatever, right?
Yeah, they can Twitter and Facebook and whatever on their own. So,
so they enjoyed a little Thanksgiving on their own for a little bit. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were getting a glimpse of what the future is going to look like or something. But no, on Thanksgiving Day, we had to haul up there and get her.
Man. Well, I'm glad, but the surgery went well, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's the big part. So as long as she was okay, man.
But now not so much now, but when we first got her home, it's pretty much around-the-clock nursing care for love her to death. Love my mother to death. Do anything for her. But you talk about the most difficult patient in the world. Not that she's she's got certain steps to do everything, and you have to follow the way she does it. Like when she wants a glass of water, it is not as simple as going and getting a glass and putting water in it.
Certain amount of ice cubes, a line that it has to be filled to.
It's got to be a special cup. She has special ice for the special cup. She has a certain way that she gets her water. It comes from a filter out of the tap through another filter into another pitcher, and then from that pitcher into another container that goes in the refrigerator.
That has to be washed in Dawn soap.
I'm not sure on that particular step, but there's like 7 steps just for her water.
I love it.
To go in the refrigerator. And she takes little plastic cups, like not like a Solo cup, but you get what I'm saying, like the little plastic.
Like the medicine type cups?
No, a little bigger than that. You know, kind of like a punch cup,
Okay.
like for a kid's party. You know?
Yeah.
She takes those, and it's clever. Don't get me wrong, it's clever. She fills those up and she freezes them, and then she puts them in the ice hunks in a Ziploc bag. And you're like, well, that's kind of dumb. I mean, because the first thing I did when she wanted water is I tried to put her Yeti cup. Not Yeti cup. What all the kids drinking out of now? The Stanleys.
The Stanleys.
The Stanley.
Yeah,
Her knockoff Stanley. I was trying to put it in the ice maker thing, and of course I got a pretty good tongue lashing on that because that is not the way we do that. You take that hunk of ice out, and it like perfectly fits in the Stanley.
She's worked
on this. Everything has a good legitimate reason. But a 2-step process turns into a 22.2% step process. So, yeah, it's just – and every time you're like, all right, Mom, I'm going to go back to – well, hey, while you're here, I was noticing outside that third fence post from the left, I don't think that staples in. God, Mama, quit.
Look what Kyle just said. Said, Billy, you know this isn't behind a paywall. She can hear you. She's watching. She knows.
She ain't watching. She knows. She's the one that created all this.
She's laughing while you're talking about this.
I'm probably getting cut out of the wheel. Crystal's going to get all the good stuff now.
You know what the joy is, though?
But don't get me wrong, people. I love her, and I'd do anything for her. But I'm sure my kids are thinking, oh, crap, Dad's going to be the same way. And I do. I have inherited some of that anal, it has to be this way type of stuff. And this is why I let her get away with it. I get it. I let her get away. My kids are very surprised some of the stuff that I will say to my mother, but we've been together for 45 years.
Y'all got a special relationship.
We got a special bond. You know, because after my dad died, it was just me and her for the longest. So, but I have adopted some of those anal type. It has to be exactly this way. And I don't notice it because it's my routine, and that's what works best for me. So, like, when they're trying to do something to help me, I wind up sounding just like her.
What is one? Can you think of one off the top of your head? One thing that really hits you that they may get frustrated with? I know sometimes those things, it just happens as they happen. There's got to be something like with your chair too, like nobody sits in that chair type deal.
I do have my own chair now. With the surgery, it's like a love seat thing with a armrest in the middle and it reclines. And I've always sat on when you're sitting in the chair looking at our little micro television. I've always sat on the left. You know, kind of like we were in a truck or something.
One of those TVs with the knobs on it and 2 antennas.
Are you jealous? I tell you, when they went from analog to digital, it messed up my reception. I had to start sitting on the right, which, you know, the whole time that me and Jacqueline's been married, which is coming up on 20 years, that's always been her side. Mm-hmm. When we were at our first little house and we just had a couch and that, you know, but I'm very anal, you know, like when the kids would, I have a TV tray and it has to be set up just right. It has to be this far away. Historically, my drink has always been on the left because I'm severely left-handed, but after this, it has to be on the right. This has to be turned this way. The meat portion has to be facing. I don't know. And that just crap I got from her, I guess.
So wait a minute. You're left-handed.
Extremely left-handed.
We probably talked because I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about the left shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, what is that? That's got to be weird.
I've had to relearn to brush my teeth because you're like, no, man.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
No, and combing my hair because I can't get my head down here to my little arm to do it. Sleeping has been a challenge because I'm a tummy sleeper.
Shoes are probably like
Boots. I wear boots. I don't have to worry about. And my tennis shoes.
you.
I'm an old man, y'all. So my tennis shoes are at the laces are at the proper. Where I just and in I go.
You're ready to roll. Bill Doggett would like that, by the way.
You know, it's funny you would say that because when I wear tennis shoes to work, I refer to myself as dressing Bill Doggett style.
See, Bill, and Bill's watching us this morning. You have started a look. This is from Bill right here. I got a ribbon cutting to go to
right
today.
after the surgery. I was showing up to work in like jogging pants, you know, because they had the elastic, and I could. If I had to go to the bathroom or something, I could pull them back up like a little kid, you know. And I would show up with that and my tenny runners on and I got to be honest with y'all. I'm in a very professional setting, but I think if Greg wasn't watching, I could really adapt to that wearing the tennis shoes every day.
Just hide behind the desk.
Well, you know, there for a while I was trying matter of fact, he bought them for me. The CAUTHENs, they look like dress shoes, but they have like tennis shoe bottoms.
Those are nice.
Yeah. But then I got addicted to them, and I was buying them all the time. And it's like when I got to, well, you know, you say that, but
You found a frugal way to buy them?
Yeah. I hate to say I was buying them used.
Well, you buy the Molehans.
Yeah. No, there's and we're just rambling on, y'all, but we don't have a guest, so it's fine.
It's all right.
You're paying to listen to me anyhow.
Yeah.
There's a place called Poshmark where people sell clothing.
Okay.
And I was going on Poshmark, and I was finding legit, honest-to-God CAUTHEN shoes. I got some of them that were new in the box, some of them new without boxed or whatever. Like they were still banded together, had the paper in them and everything. Yeah, and I was getting them for a quarter of the price of what they were new.
Dang.
So I'm sure if Jacqueline's watching, she'll probably jump on here and tell you I had like 100 pair of them.
I never thought
because
about,
they're like a $200 shoe,
yeah.
and I was getting them for like 20 or 40 bucks because you could
Can't
go
do
in and
that.
bid on the stuff. Like you could offer the person something, and they get to counter offer.
Well, I never thought about like clothes. I don't mind like a pants, a shirt, dress shirt, or whatever. But I never thought about shoes. Like, am I going to buy a pair of shoes that maybe somebody else has owned or has worn a couple of times? That all went out the window when I realized I ain't got no money anymore.
Yeah.
And I was over at Bargain Box, which if you haven't been over there, go to Bargain. Pam has really good name brand clothes over there for dirt cheap. You know, it's consignment type stuff. People bring in their clothes.
Yeah.
I was in there the other day. You ever had those days where you just want to go say hi to a few people and you don't know why? You haven't seen them in a while and you just said it's going to be a good thing just to go say hi to a few people.
All the time.
So that was me. This couple of weeks ago, I was here. It was on a Friday, and I said, I haven't went around the square in a while, so I just went on a walk. I needed to get up and walk around anyways, and I just went by and I visited several people. I went over there and talked to, I think it's Pam over to Niche and Time. Went by and talked to her, and then I went over and to a few other, and then I stopped by Bargain Box with no intention on buying anything anywhere, just to say hi. Well, what did I do? At Niche and Time, I went over there, I bought something. They had some cool little, it reminded me of my grandmother and my great aunt. There was one of these candy bowls. Yeah. Glass bowl. I didn't go in there thinking I was going to buy a glass bowl.
The antique shops are bad about that.
It got me. And then a fishing rod. She had a fishing rod on sale for $8. So I bought a fishing pole and a candy bowl for, $20. Well, wrapping it up, I went down to Pam over there at Bargain Box.
With your candy fishing pole.
Yeah. Well, I walked in. And I said hi to her, and then I noticed some Sperry's, those real comfortable. Yeah. And those things look brand new. No, there's a couple of cat hairs in there I saw, but other than that, And I said to somebody, are you about to sell these? She goes, yeah, I just got them in right before you walked in. She goes, I'm tagging them in right now. And if I would have wore Wranglers, I haven't worn Wranglers in a long time. I kind of got away from wearing jeans because they got just kind of restrictive on me, as I've gotten a little bit heavier.
As you start wearing slacks every day and you try to put a pair of jeans on, you realize just how heavy those doggone things are.
That's why I wear these all the time now. Well, guess what, Billy? Not only did this guy have a 10.5 shoe, which is what I wear, I'll be doggone if he didn't drop off those pants. 38, 32. I said, this guy must have been my doppelganger. Had no idea who he was. And I saw those shoes, though, and I said, how much, Pam? She goes, $20. I said, are you sure? They're probably like $80 shoes. Mm-hmm. and they look brand new, and I've got them, and they're in the back of my truck, and I wear them now. So I never thought that I'd do that, but here I am.
Well, that's like the Poshmark or whatever. People, just for clarification, I think I'm buying somebody else's used stuff. You can look, and they post about 12 pictures of stuff, so you get to see the insides, the sides, the bottom. And that's what I would do. I'd go through and you put in your size, and it pulls up your size, and I would go and just find the best looking, newest pair, especially the ones that were still in the box. Mm-hmm. And if they wanted 60, I'd go in there and offer them 20, and sometimes they'd be like, oh, I'll take 40. I'd be like, how about 30? And we'd settle on 30, and, a couple days later, I got me a new pair of kicks.
Yeah, I never thought that I would
But
be
then
that
I went
guy.
back to wearing boots, and boots are it's so easy. So easy, especially when I got to get up and go at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Just bloom, bloom.
I know what you mean, but
Yeah,
I thought of it in a different way.
Yeah, sure.
I
That's
said,
fine.
who puts on their boots to go to the bathroom?
If you don't have carpet in your house,
I could just picture you just boots on.
there was a short time in my life. There's a darker period of time when we lived on Beat Eyes Creek, and if you got caught in the house without shoes on, you would be in trouble. So,
Really?
Yeah, it was a weird time. But anywho, that time is long gone. So.
Well, hey, it's a fun morning. Let us know you're out there. I love reminiscing and telling these stories, Billy. I always love hearing the stories. One day you need to write a book. I think when you're 80 years old, that ought to be your life mission, is the book of Billy.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to 80.
I'll
tell you what, if I make it to 80, I'll write a book. I'll tell my robot to write a book about my memories.
You'll have one then, yeah. What was it, Millennial Man or whatever with Robin Williams? You'll have one of those. I
remember in school, this was 5th grade, so this would have been 92. That sounds about right. They showed us a video. They would on Fridays. They would bring out the reel machine and put the film in it and beat it or whatever. Yeah, God, I love those things. But it was a movie that they made. I guess it was from the late 70s, early 80s. And it was saying, by the year, 1996 or whatever, and it was showing kids that were having their robots do their homework for them and stuff. And oh God, we were having a field day with that. Because we're at that point, we're just a couple years off from that, and we're still struggling with mechanical pencils. And they're talking about, this is why you're not learning, because your robot is doing it for you.
Well, we're at that age now.
We're at that age now. But hey, all these guys that are using AI to write their school paper, papers or whatever. I was watching a guy that's a professor's assistant or whatever. They can put that in a deal, and they can watch in live time, how long it took you to write it and all that, and they can tell.
Yeah.
So the AI is able now to tell on the AI.
Yeah. I won't get into a long discussion, but let's just say that there was a straw that broke the camel's back this semester for me with my online classes. And I'm at a point to where I always said if there's one more thing, that's going to be it for me for a while. Well, that was the one that broke my back. I had stayed up till 3 a.m. writing a paper. I used AI to help me with the outline, which is perfectly fine with the university's policy. Mm-hmm. But I was up till 3 a.m. working on this thing. And he comes back and gives me 2 zeros on both those papers. And he says, our software detected 100% AI on this. And I said, well, your software is wrong. Because and now there's studies out there that are encouraging professors to stop using those programs because they are getting it wrong. And so I called my advisor and I said, I was up till 3 a.m. And this was during the week. Mm-hmm. I said, I was up till 3 a.m. I have to get up at 5. So I'm literally running on 2 hours of sleep. And now this is going to set me back even more because he wants me to enable some sort of device that shows as I type. And I said, I'm not doing all that. I said, I'm paying you guys money. I can promise you that I did not use AI to fully write this paper. I did it within your guidelines. I said, I'm not doing all that. Well, don't worry, Mr. Hip, we'll put you in another class. I said, I'm not going into another class. You know what I'm going to do? I said, I'm going to take a break because I don't need any more stress right now. Mm-hmm. And I said, what I need you to do is unenroll me this semester, and then I'll think about re-enrolling starting in January. But I said, I'm not going to start getting on this train of being accused of writing papers fully with AI when that's not the case. I said, plus you guys are getting $1,500 a class from me. So take it or leave it. And she, well, then, well, the Lord's brought you here, and He don't want you to leave. I said, don't start that. That's what I told. I said, don't start that with me.
Yeah, don't use the Lord as your backup business plan.
Yeah, because that's the way I took it. And I'm not knocking on they're a great university, but I just know in my heart, it's one of those times, Billy, where you know that you know. And for me, it was like I knew that I knew it was time that I needed a break. And I'm not bashing it. I just needed a break. And yeah, when I go back, I'm probably going to get a different professor because I've done, up until that point, 1.5 years of classes the exact same way. And then all of a sudden, this is the one that, my software detected this. I said, well, then adios, muchachos.
I had in mortuary school,
so
I had to take biology twice because all of our stuff was like locked down browser, and they webcammed you and watched you or whatever. And I had a late night breakdown. And I probably said some things to that camera, which I knew that professor was going to watch, that I shouldn't have. And I had to call that professor, and I was ordered by my mortuary professor to call that professor and apologize for the things that I had said and the actions I may have taken. And I got the pleasure of retaking that class again.
New professor or same one?
Same one.
Oh, yeah.
But he little different on the second go around because he kind of knew that my rubber band was already stretched a little thin.
People are just, you know what? Just be real.
Well, I think these online professors, and hell, it might be this way if you go on the campus, especially people of our age that are not fresh out of high school. This is new to us. We're having to relearn how to learn. And with the online, it was horrible because that one professor would give you so much work, you didn't have time to do anybody else's stuff. It's like they don't know what I guess they don't look at your career path and see what you're trying to do, and they load you up so much. And then the next professor does the same thing because in their mind, you're the only class they're taking. And yeah.
So, I have a really bad time with, and we'll take a break after this, but
yeah, I need more coffee.
I really do have a bad time with self-control in the sense of when everything's piling on, sometimes I just can't stop what I'm saying. And I can't, and I know, you ever been in that moment to where like, man, I shouldn't be saying this or talking about this, but I can't stop. And you know that you need to stop. And it was kind of that way yesterday when I was dropping the kids off at school. I was frustrated and because we were late and there's a teacher there that's really sweet and she does a great job. And I just started talking to her and I was like, I don't know, and it wasn't anything bad, but I knew I shouldn't have been talking like that because and it wasn't like I was saying bad words or anything like that. I was just talking about personal things going on in my life. And, there's other parents in there dropping their, and I shouldn't have done that. And,
yeah.
But at the same token, I can't fake, I can't fake who I am, but I also need to work on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's why it's so important to have somebody in your inner. So I've called you before when I've had stuff going on, and I've got a few people that are close in my circle, and
we need to open a rage room.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Man? It's like junk everywhere.
Come break plates and smash stuff with a hammer.
Does it really do anything? Do those really actually do anything?
I don't know. If you write me a check, I don't care what you do.
Well, all right. We got a coffee refill coming up.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We'll take a break. While we're in that break, let us know what you're thankful for. And also, by the way, tonight kicks off Journey Through Bethlehem. And that'll be happening tonight and tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, too, the Christmas Fair. We'll be down there with Spirit Radio all day long. And then we will be in the parade. We're decorating golf carts for the parade tomorrow. It's going to be quite fun. So we'll be down at the parade tomorrow night.
Me and Greg's going to ride ahead of everybody and wave and get y'all started.
Do y'all got that cool convertible? Y'all cruising?
No, that's having some transmission problems.
Oh, man.
Thank God.
Well, we are going to give away tickets to Journey Through Bethlehem one final time today, and all you have to do is text in the keyword Christmas to 936-339-0139. I've got a few tickets. Again, Christmas is the keyword, and I'll even throw in a free T-shirt coupon as well. So Christmas is the keyword to 936-339-0139. We'll step aside. We'll take a break as we continue on. Maybe a little teaser of something coming up down the road here on the show that we'll talk about. Billy, if that's cool, on the next break.
I'm not taking my clothes off for you.
Well, there we go. Never mind. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. It's your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville, as always, brought to you by our friends at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. They've been serving your family, their family, serving yours since 2002. We'll be right back.
I'm Billy CAUTHEN, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We are not a daycare. We are a child care center focused on the growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted, family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. This is KHSP-LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Billy CAUTHEN of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit Radio.
Hey, little doggy. We continue on. I miss some old phrases, little doggy. Hey there, little doggy. I miss my dad, and my dad always called me little buddy. Hey, little buddy. You know, the things you remember. 41 degrees, overcast today. How about 49 only for the high, but it is going to be mostly cloudy. And then tomorrow, beautiful day tomorrow, 68, a little bit of sunshine. It's going to be nice for the parade and all that. You know, I was thinking about old things, Billy, and I want to tease a new segment. We really want to get this thing launched fully in the new year. I want to do a whole intro for you. But we were talking months ago about this, and maybe kind of a lead-in, because there's going to be a ribbon cutting today at 10 a.m. over at Safe House, the resale shop. Mm-hmm. And as I walked into there one day, I said, this looks like it used to be a church. And this kind of ties in to a segment that's going to be debuting soon. We're going to tease the folks, but it's the Huntsville I Remember.
Yeah, the Huntsville I Remember.
The Huntsville I Remember with Billy CAUTHEN. And it's going to be stories of the Huntsville that Billy CAUTHEN knew growing up. And I'll start with this, because I don't remember, because I've only been here 5 years, but that Safe House looked like it used to be a church, and you said yes, it did.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it used to be the Church of Christ. So
You ever go over there when it was a church? I went into the resale shop and I noticed it looked like a sanctuary.
No, but the people that worked at Huntsville Funeral Home, they would tell stories about having to be there on Sunday, and that was their only entertainment, was watching the people walking in and out of that church, and just whatever. The mama's beating the kids on the way into church, and the daddy's whooping them on the way out.
There's a couple of other places, and you remember this. I don't, but over at the care center, we dropped off some stuff last year, and Greg went over there with us too. Yeah, I think you were there too, and I said, this looks like it used to be a funeral home, and it was.
That it was.
So there's a lot going on in the community, or a lot of things that I'm excited to hear that you'll tell the stories of, because I have no clue of what they were.
Yeah, like where Family Faith Church is right now, not the place they're moving to, but where they're at right now. That used to be, at one time it was a Wiener's department store or whatever. And it might have been something before that too. But on the outside of the wall, they had like an accent wall on the outside, and it was like little pebbles that stuck out like a rock wall. And I remember being a kid, and there was always people over there. And I think the store would run them off, but they would like show up, and they would try to climb that wall.
That was a thing back in the day with those let's be honest, ugly walls.
Yeah, but now like you can go to places where they have climbing walls like that, but they had that one there, and I remember as a kid several times, like we would go over there and there'd be people trying to climb that wall, and then of course in that same parking lot we had Mazzio's Pizza. God, it was good pizza buffet.
See, that's crazy, because we had
Mazzio's, however
we had one of those in Round Rock, And what I imagine with this segment too, Billy, and it'll be cool, is we want the viewers to interact too. And it'd be so neat if we had viewers of the show send in pictures of stuff that that maybe they had a connection to. I think it'd be neat if somebody had a whole stack of photos of the West Hill Mall, of what that used to look like back in the old bustling days of the mall.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, every store was full, and they had like little kiosk stores out there, and yeah, it was a mall.
You think about
now it's the West Hill Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
But you think about those things, and there's so many memories that surround them, and I don't know, man. I get nostalgic, and then I start missing stuff, and I wish that some things used to be the way that they were.
Yeah.
And sometimes I go down that train, and then I start getting depressed. I'm like, well, I sure do miss that, and it's never going to be as good as it used to be.
Yeah, well, because you got fond memories of when you were a kid. Like I remember, we had a Baskin Robbins, and of course we would go in and get the samples because we were poor. And then, for a period of time, we had a TCBY, the country's best yogurt or whatever.
Yeah. I never knew that's what that stood for.
That's what it stood for. But, man, you'd get so excited when you get that waffle cone. Oh, man, that was something else. But when they would put the yogurt in the cone, they would how best to describe this? And some of y'all will know what I'm talking about. They do the swirl. But that would always create a large void in the middle.
Huh.
It wasn't like when you get an ice cream cone where that sucker is full of ice cream. This was just beautifully lined with frozen yogurt.
I'm starting to think it's like a bag of chips where they think it's.
You think it's full, and you open it up, and you're like, well, darn, I paid $3 for 4 chips.
It's like that turkey on the Lampoon's Christmas, and they cut it up.
That sure is a beautiful bird, Clark.
Yeah. He's eating it, and there's like cat hair and stuff.
The sad part, I have a cousin Eddie, and his name is Eddie.
And is he like this guy? Something's full.
He is. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, no, we want to do this and really roll it out sometime in the new year. There's a lot that we're working on with the new studio, and it's going to be a fun segment, and people connect with that. I'm like I don't want to say I'm a history guy, but I do like communities and going back and looking in the past in a community of what that community used to be like and what it is now. And, I can only imagine Huntsville as you drive down 45, what that used to be like before all of that shopping center. What do they call that? Raven Shopping Center, whatever that is over there. I forget.
It was just a forest.
And see, that's crazy to think about. You would just drive through town and you would see hardly nothing, right? And then now,
there were trails through there, and like people would ride their dirt bikes and stuff. Or right behind the mall, there was a big big, just stupid big dirt hill. And if you had a 4-wheel drive little truck or something, you would go over, and that was entertainment, was climbing that dirt hill in your 4-wheel drive, and then, of course, having to come down the other side and not getting caught by HPD.
Yeah.
Because it's like they knew you were over there, and they were going to let you get about just as deep into it as you could, and then, hello, you know.
Well, it's neat. It's neat to think about all these. My sister just put, she said 45 used to never be there, and the highway.
Yeah, it was 75.
The Highway Act, back in the day, I think it was Eisenhower that put all that into effect. And then that's why the interstate, the national interstate system, I think that was President Eisenhower that wanted to do that. And, you look back in the 60s at all that construction when all these highways started coming in, and I-35 for us, 45 for you guys here. And now there's talks, I don't know if you've heard about another highway that they want to develop, not 14, but there's another one now up in the Crockett area that they want that thing to go. It's supposed to shave time, if you're going up to the Panhandle, but like an hour and a half if you're driving. I just saw that on TxDOT. It's neat to think about those, but then you also have to think about somebody's going to be affected by, not somebody, a lot of people are going to be affected
Somebody's affected, and let's realistically think about this. We're not going to see that. We might not even see that in our lifetime if they started today.
Yeah. But all that eminent domain and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. People are going to lose farmland, cattle grazing land, just land.
Yeah, so that's how it happens. So my sister brought up something, too. There's a really cool Facebook page. I follow this, too. It's called Traces of Texas. Have you ever seen that page?
No, but, Huntsville has something like that. I can't remember the name of it now, but they go on and post, like, old photos of Huntsville all the time.
That's cool. So, but yeah, that's coming. We'll roll that out. We're gonna have an official intro, and maybe even Billy, like as a grandpa, gather around here, you little fellas.
Sit down, shut up.
That's gonna be how it is with the.
Oh, I doubt it. I'm planning on getting my kids back by spoiling the crap out of theirs.
Oh. Well, hey, I know we just wrapped up Thanksgiving. I'll shift gears. I did mention a couple of events that are happening here in our community. Ribbon cutting at 10 a.m. I'll be at that for the Safe House Resale Shop. Journey Through Bethlehem is getting going tonight and tomorrow. But also the Christmas Fair. And I wanted to bring this up because I don't know where I've been the last 4 or 5 years, but I just did not realize that we had a Christmas Fair before the parade downtown. That is taking place, and the booths are all sold. So we'll be at the intersection of Sam Houston and 13th tomorrow morning early, and then right after that is the parade. Did you know about this fair? I mean, do y'all go down there and do anything with that? I had no idea that they do this.
Mm-hmm. And I hate to say that I've lived here my whole life, but no, I didn't.
I don't know if that's a newer thing or what, but Amanda Shalacy with Huntsville Main Street's been doing a lot.
I work so much that I'm either at work or if I'm at home, I will do anything under the sun to have to keep from driving across what we call the Highway 30 bridge. I will stay on my side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Which when I was a kid was a 2-lane bridge.
So, no, we'll be down there at that and then the Christmas parade. And will y'all be in that this year?
Yeah, we're the Grand Marshal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're going to be up front waving and maybe throwing out a little bit of candy.
I'm kind of I'm excited to be in it this year, but I'm also kind of bummed for my kids.
Yeah, because you don't get to watch it that way. Yeah.
And I'm kind of bummed for my kid. My children have as much fun. I'll have fun as a parent because now I don't have to worry about them fighting over candy when we get home. Because that's been a major problem with the parades. They come home and they have all this candy and we want this. And then it creates this conflict at the house.
I tell you the biggest problem we have is – not so much, this will be twice now that we've had the honor of being the Grand Marshal in the thing, but
what does that mean? What is the Grand Marshal?
You're like the head dude. You start it. You're
you're at the beginning.
You're the king.
Okay.
King you're the head of the snake. Everyone else just follows. But people that and nothing wrong with this to a point, but like if you have little kids in the parade and they're throwing candy and they don't throw the candy far enough to the sides. And then there's young children that are coming out and they are stepping in front of the parade vehicles to get the candy. And their mamas and daddies are MIA, and we're having to stop the parade
because the problem.
Because little Timmy is literally climbing under your car, bumping his head on your transmission to get a Tootsie Roll that he doesn't want anyhow. I eat the Tootsie Rolls. That's
See, you hit the nail on the head, though. That's the problem. It's not the children. The children are going to run after anything.
It's the mamas and daddies.
It's the parents that just let them. And I've seen it. I've seen it at these parades, Billy, where the kids, and I'm like, aren't you going to tell your kid to not run out in front of that car?
You want to be the bad guy? I was the bad guy once at the Lions Club. I said, well, hey, maybe we are to ban candy throwing. And you thought I'd just kick somebody's dog in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But Jack took the kids to a parade one time, and of course they showed up with their bags and they were ready. And this community did not do candy.
Georgetown doesn't.
And it ran extremely smooth because there wasn't all the stopping. I'm like, everyone was able to maintain the same speed. And, that way you don't get breaks. And that's something that happens at the Huntsville parade because we do have judging where you have to stop and get your award, or you're having to stop for little Timmy to not run over them, or it gets choppy.
Yeah.
And as a funeral director, we don't like choppy. We like everything smooth.
And people that announce it, they got to move quick too. You know, so.
Or the year that we drove Greg's old truck and the brakes froze up and
I stopped everybody.
Oh God!
What happened?
The brake. It had old drum brakes, and when you're coming down Sam Houston, it was a standard, and I couldn't get it low. And that was the first year we were the Grand Marshal.
Oh,
the gear was not low enough for me just to let it come on its own,
Yeah.
Because it was a 3-speed on the column. And I was having to ride the brakes. Well, when we got down to the bottom where the judging was, the truck didn't want to go because the brakes it had drum brakes. And when they get hot, they like swell up, and the brake pads and the drum, like they come together. And that's kind of like where like big rigs, like in the mountains where, the big rigs have like the pull offs if they have a brake problem. Yeah, our brakes overheated and the truck didn't want to move. So now I'm burning the clutch out of the thing, trying to get the truck to go. We looked real good, but let me tell you, behind the scenes, we had a time because there was one point where my wife got off the truck to do something, and she went to set back down or something, and I took off. So she totally missed the tailgate. She fell in the middle of 11th Street. I think she's still mad at me for that. I had nothing to do with it. And the whole time, Greg is blaming me.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And you've been there for so long that you're like a son now.
Yeah, so. I'm like, shut up. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Oh, that's fun. But, you brought up a point about that candy in Hutto, Texas, I believe. That's right outside of Georgetown. The reason Georgetown banned the candy in their parade was there was a child that actually lost their life at a parade because of the candy. Mm-hmm. And that's terrible. I don't want to say but like it's not important. That's terrible. But for me as a kid, that was the joy of the parade, was that candy. And I think that's something that you got to stay. But how do you regulate
it's a
that?
Fine line.
And it's the parent. It comes down to the parents. It's the parents is what it is. To me, that's what I think it is. It's the parents disciplining their children. How my children wanted to run out. I said, Braylon, no, you know what I told them? Don't go over there. You'll get ran over. Okay, Daddy. They get scared. They don't want to get ran over.
Yeah.
That's why you got to tell them.
Well, another thing is monkey see, monkey do. And if the parents are out there climbing underneath the car.
They've done that.
It's probably not even a nickel's worth of candy. You're going to lose your life over, people.
Yeah. So, well.
You don't want what you're picking up anyhow.
Yeah. So.
But what you have is you have the little kids on the float that can't throw it, or you have the older children that can throw it, and now they're pelting people with like jawbreakers.
Yeah, I got hit in the head with the the city council will always come through. I love when they're always on that old fire truck, and they'll just throw it out. And and they're up high.
Yeah.
And so they
already have like a mechanical advantage.
Yeah. So Mayor, if you're watching, please keep throwing the candy. But boy, I got peppered with it like a couple last Christmas. I got peppered pretty bad with that stuff.
I mean, you don't get as upset if you get hit with like a Twix bar. Or if you get, that's not that bad. But if you get hit with one of those little dum pops, not only do they hurt, but you got a penny candy.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot
for a
going
lifetime
on.
of trauma.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on. So come downtown. It's going to be beautiful weather, by the way. So, and I'm so thankful for that because we needed some good weather. Something else I want to mention. We'll take a break here in a minute, and then we'll wrap it up, Billy. But something else that I wanted to mention too. Congratulations to Alpha Omega, the Lions. won the
Isn't that
TAPS
something?
D2
Isn't that something?
TAPS Division II state championship. And not only did they win it, they set records. That ended up being good night. Did you see the score?
I tell you, it's because me and James have been over there walking on their track early in the morning.
Y'all blessed it.
Bringing them good luck.
Look at this. This Tyler Fordyce was there. Tyler calls the games for us on SHN, and unfortunately did not get to call the state. You know, you're with the team all year, and then you're told you can't do the state championship, and that wasn't. It's the TAPS.
Yeah, that's
just like
kind
the
of
UIL.
that's kind of a kick in the teeth to y'all. You know,
but they ended up winning this thing 101-56.
And that's 7-man or whatever.
6-man, yeah.
6-man. God, their scores are just stupid high.
101 to 56. Now here, the previous records were this. This is according to the Lone Star Christian Sports Network. This is a group that keeps up with the private schools. The last time something like this happened, the most points combined by both teams was 156 back in 2023. Well, that's been beat now. Alpha Omega has set the record
157
by
now,
1
right?
point, 157. And then the most points for the winning team, this goes back to 2017 when Seguin Lifegate Christian defeated Granbury North Central 90 to 40. So now Alpha Omega has really set the bar for the highest winning points, 101 points. Can you believe that?
We should have a parade and not allow candy.
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll wrap it up when we come back. Wanted to touch base with Billy on some things at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, some things you need to do to get ready for the end of the year, and pre-planning is always something that we talk about. We'll highlight that, and we'll wrap it up when we come back. Do us a favor. Let us know you're out there. A lot of folks were conversing this morning, and we are here to uplift and support this community. We couldn't do it without Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. They're online at SHMFH.com. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Billy CAUTHEN, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey friends, this is Rob Hipp, and I'm here to talk about a true expert in the real estate world. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Terry Coleman of the Coleman Realty Group.
With 33 years in the business, I've dedicated my life to making your real estate dreams come true. Specializing in residential properties, I serve Walker and Montgomery counties, from Spring to Trinity and areas all around.
They call her your next door agent, and here's why.
I'm not just here to help you find a home or lease a property. I'm here to build lifelong relationships. Whether it's residential or commercial, farm or ranch listings, there's something for everyone.
Now you might wonder, what sets Terry apart from other real estate agents? Well, it's simple. She goes above and beyond for her clients, like the time she surprised a family from California with a fully decorated Christmas tree and gifts when they returned from closing. You shouldn't have to compromise on the joys of home during life-changing moments. So, if you're ready to make your real estate dreams come true, here's what you need to do.
Visit my website at myrealtorterry.com and let's make those dreams a reality.
That's Terry Coleman, your expert in all things real estate.
I'm Terry Coleman, your next door agent, and I can't wait to help you open the door to your new life.
Hi, I'm Billy CAUTHEN, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. All right, friends. Boy, the end of the week.
Yeah, we made it.
We made it, brother.
If you're listening to this, you have made it to the end of the work. Well, some people's end of the work week.
That's where you get this. Well, what mug do you have today? I haven't asked you for the mug update lately. Texas Fire Training School from James CAUTHEN. Had to have been.
Yep. Well, you know, the day of graduation, we get up there and yeah, they're making those guys do PT, physical training, on their graduation day.
Good night.
So they were running, and of course I got to laugh because James wasn't the last one in line. So it always makes you feel better. But I told Jacqueline, I said, I want to get it. They have a shop there where like the cadets have to get their PT gear, their uniform shirts, all that. And then they have other stuff available to them. If they need like pens and whatever. I mean, because it's an awesome training school and just the stuff they teach them. But they also have like, if the parents want to get a T-shirt or coffee mug, whatever. And so I told Jacqueline, I said, hey, I want to get like a shirt or something. And of course we go in there and I find a shirt and I find another shirt and another shirt and another shirt and a coffee cup and some other stuff. And yeah, I think like $300 later, I come waddling up out of there and she's like, oh my God. And like I told her, I said, look, he's only going to graduate from here once.
They know how to get you on the way out.
Do you think I'm coming back? I'm extremely proud of him and his accomplishments and everything he's doing and going to do. And so, and of course, Lily's next, she's the next on deck, she's, trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life. And then, we're going to get 100% behind her with that. And
then Olivia on the other end.
Yeah. Which Olivia wants to be a veterinarian. So
nice. We're
taking donations now for her school expense. If y'all want to go ahead and start now, we'll put it in a coffee can or a pickle jar or something. I think, Lily from day to day, you don't really know, but the two or three, there's like three main takeaways, either a nurse, a physical therapist, or a real estate. And I think now she's leaning more towards the real estate. So. Oh,
cool. Well, that's a good one to be in, man.
Yeah.
So, well, it has been a great morning. Billy, I wanted to say something. I do want to highlight a couple things at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. First and foremost, I wanted to thank you. Pastor Bay had asked me to preach last week. He actually asked me 3 months ago, and I was a little bit nervous about that. And then he threw a curveball and said, can you go out to Ebenezer? Because we've been out there helping that church out, and, they're without a pastor right now, and we don't want to see any churches anywhere in this community, not thrive. And so he's been going out there and preaching at that church. So he asked me, because he was in Waco, if I'd go out there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I wanted to thank you and Jacqueline and James, because I'd asked you a couple of months ago to come if you could, and you told me you would be there, and you came. And I wanted to thank you for your friendship, Billy, because man, there's some people that just talk about it, and you're always about it. Mm-hmm. And so that, I told you when you walked in this morning, I said, you don't know how much that meant to me. And it was funny because you said, we were out at Ebenezer, and you had said, you know, it's like 2 minutes to go and nobody's here. Right at the end, the mad rush came in.
we were running a little bit behind, but we were, I don't know, it started at what, 9?
9-ish, yeah.
Yeah, and so we get there at like, I don't know, 8:50, 8:55, something like that, and there's 3 cars in the parking lot, and yours was one of them. And Jacqueline's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "There's nobody here." I said, "Well, that's fine. We're just gonna get up in there. We can sit on the front row, you know."
Yeah.
And
there it's pretty easy to sit on the front row.
Yeah, and you know, of course, we got in, and the people that were there, God, they were so nice, and they were shaking our hands and talking to us, and you know, buddy Josh was there, and you know, recognized him, so we automatically had a friend, and you know, we felt bad. There wasn't hardly anybody there, so we sat on the second row, and then
all of a sudden,
yeah, it all of a sudden, it's like there must have been a traffic block on the other end of 1791, and it let loose because that place filled up.
Yeah.
And now I feel bad because all these people are coming in, and of course, you know, for those of y'all that know, I worked for the state for a little bit, and when people walk in behind you, it's very unnerving. Well, I'm sitting on the front, and I don't want to be like, you know, those owls you see on a tree branch with their heads spinning around. But, so I don't know who's coming into this place. I'm just hoping and praying that they's all good people, and I don't have to, you know, whatever. We actually had a good time.
Yeah, well, thank y'all.
We got to sing some old hymns, and
I'm telling you, that's what's important, you know. And Jason had said this, and I know y'all's pastor would agree with this too over at Christ the King. It don't matter if the church has 2 people or 2,000 people. You know, the Lord comes for everybody. He comes for the one, but he comes for everybody too. And it's so important that the Lord will move in any setting, in any church. And it meant the world. So thank y'all, and thank you to Jacqueline and James. It was a pleasant surprise. I just thought it'd be you, and then seeing Jacqueline and James there, boy, that really made my day.
You know, there's another twist to the story because we came to Ebenezer because I was the head usher at our church. I get the 5th Sunday because I'm kind of a screwball, so they give me the 5th Sunday with that. That way I don't have to do it as much, you know. But and this will be a shout out to a friend of both of ours. You know, so we left your service and we flew out to our place so we'd be on time. And it comes time to do the offering or whatever, and I get up, and my good buddy and your good buddy Brian Mathis.
Yeah.
He's back there with the plates and already has everyone lined out ready to go. And I walked up to him and said, he goes, "Well, brother, I figured with your arm you wouldn't be able to." And I'm like, you know what, and he's always been a good friend. He's been a good friend to my family. He's been a good friend to me. And just, he didn't want me to be out, so he just took care of it.
Yeah, man, that's good.
It's kind of like, man, if I'd have known that, we could have went to first.
No, it's all good, man. Well, it did. It was awesome. Well, you know, and that's, I'm going to tie this into the funeral home now, because the same friend that Billy's been to me when I've needed him most for big life events. You guys were at my wedding. That's a big life event. You know, I was thinking about that. You've been at all.
We danced at your wedding.
You've been through some of my biggest life moments. You know, my wedding and being here, starting the show, and you know, being a friend when we came to Huntsville, and then when my dad passed, you were the first guy. And I want to tell you that same type of friendship that Billy has for me is the same feeling that you're going to get when that unfortunate time comes for your family, to when you've got to find somebody to help put your loved one to rest. And that's what Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home is going to do. That's what Billy's going to do. That's what everyone over there is going to do. Jason's been over there. Y'all just really do. You don't just talk the talk, but you walk the walk. We
love the people that come through that door, and we don't play the whole "I know who you know" game, you know, because that's a big practice in our industry, is to say, "Oh, well, hey, you know, you're so and so, so you're related to," you know, play that game, and we just don't do that. We don't. We're not trying to earn your trust that way. We're trying to earn your trust through actions. So, you know, just. If you don't know anybody up there, just come in, spend some time with us, have a cup of coffee, hang out. It might be awkward at first, but you'll realize that we are just, I don't know, just good people,
it feels
I
like,
guess.
and I don't say this in a negative way, it feels like a living room. I mean, it's professional, but when you first walk in, you feel like you're in somebody's house.
We're not trying to sell you nothing. Just, you know, if we can help you with something, especially at the worst time of your life, we're all over it, man. We're like a duck on a June bug. But if not, then we're just going to treat you like a friend, you know.
Yeah.
So
I've been in there countless times, and, you know, I've had the privilege of taking care of 3 families over there. You guys have been generous and allowed and asked me. Jason said, hey, can you come in and help this family? And a lot of times when those families reach out to the funeral home looking for a minister, it's because they're not part of a church, or maybe they just moved to the area.
Most of them just moved into the area.
And I've had a chance to meet with these families, and every family has told me, they said these folks have been so good to us. And that's what it's all about. It is going to be, it could be the worst time you've ever had in your life, or you can turn what could be the worst time into maybe a joyful time. And I know that's hard to say, but part of that joy is celebrating a life, and that's what y'all help people celebrate, the life of a loved one.
Kind of the unspoken rule, but it's not unspoken around our place. We all know it. I mean, we don't preach on it or anything, but it's, do unto others as you'd have done to you.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of our takeaway from everything. We think about if that was our mother, how would we want to be treated? Would we want someone trying to show us all this fancy stuff we could sell them, or do we want simply someone to say, hey, I understand where you're at and what you're going through, and what would you like to see or to have?
Yeah.
What do you think would best honor your mother? And that's just what it is. I mean, it's not forcing anybody to do anything. It's just simply, what can I have all this stuff available. What can I do to help you?
Yep.
If you need it, we got it. If you don't want it,
who cares?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. And part of the process is getting pre-planning done. We talk about it all the time on the show, but go by there, get that pre-planning done. You can do it online. By the way, just go to SHMFH.com, SHMFH.com. And there's a link there for pre-planning. You can print it out, take it in. They'll keep it on record. It's going to help your family when that time comes. And just do it. And let's support local. Let's support an organization that cares truly about family, that is a friend to this community, and that has given so much back to this community. Let's give back to them when that time comes at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
You know what tickles me? I was just thinking about this.
Well, I thought so, because you were kind of laughing there.
Yeah, well, like people all the time, they're so quick to tell you, I'm a donor. They'll even show their driver's license where it says they're a donor or whatever. And they get so excited about that. And they tell everyone, oh, I'm a donor, I'm a donor, I'm a donor. But they don't ever tell anybody, like, if they have funeral plans or who their arrangements with or anything like that. They're so proud that they've done that good thing, but they never do another good thing. They're willing, that they want their stuff to go help somebody else.
That's a good point.
But they're not willing to help their own family by making the prearrangement. It doesn't cost a dime. Matter of fact, if you do it, I'll give you a dime.
What are we talking about here?
the little silver one. I work at the funeral home. I don't have enough money for all that mess. But no, it tickles me that you're so excited about that, but you don't want to help your own.
Yeah.
So come see us. Fill it out online. I don't care how you get it to us.
And I think a lot of people just don't.
Write it on a McDonald's napkin and just stick it under the door.
Boy, don't get me started on that. I think here's two last thoughts from me. One, I think a lot of people don't realize that they can do this, and that's what we want to educate people, is to help them to realize, get the pre-planning done. The second thing is, you mentioned about McDonald's. Good night, the Grinch has made that place unbelievably busy. I go to McDonald's all the time. We waited for 35 minutes to get the new Grinch meals.
I have written off McDonald's 110%.
Boy, they have the new Grinch meals, and my wife had saw a commercial and told the children about it, and so we told the kid. And here's the kicker: I didn't realize that they weren't kids meals; they're adult meals. It's a Grinch box, and it comes with this dill pickle salt, and it comes with the bag, and you pour your fries and you shake it. It was actually pretty good. And it comes with socks, adult socks, Grinch socks. The socks are pretty cool. And so we go through there, and everybody and their dog is trying to get the Grinch stuff last night. I went to the one over here on 30, what is 11th Street, was all out. But the one on Sam Houston had all of it. And, brother, I pull up there, and that stoplight? I had to go around and go through that entrance and wait, because there were cars trying to turn in off of Sam Houston to get into that McDonald's. And it was all because of the Grinch stuff.
You know what else is back? The McRib.
I know, I've had it about 6 times already, buddy.
So our resident patient there, wanted James to pick her up 2 McRib sandwiches.
Wait a minute. Resident patient?
My mother.
Oh, okay.
And she offered to buy McRibs for everybody. But now what's funny is Olivia has never, and Lily either, neither one of the girls have ever heard of the McRib. So Olivia was mispronouncing it. And I was trying to explain to Lily
what it saying?
McRiblet. And I was trying to explain to Lily what it was. And we were at City Hall last night having James's birthday dinner or whatever. And I said, honey, just Google it. And she's like, ooh, that's what it looks like? I'm like, it's ground up pork and it's just pressed into where it looks like it has ribs in it.
That's it.
And back in the day, it used to be really good. But now, I don't know. I'm off of McDonald's. I'm done.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I'm done.
What does the McRib? Here's what does it. It's that barbecue sauce. It's that pickle. And it's especially that onion they put on it. That's what makes it what it is. Mm-hmm. That's all.
But now it seems like the bun thing they put it on is harder than it used to be.
Please don't. That's the only thing. I had that one last night. It had to have been old bread that had been sitting in there forever.
The girls the other night, they got a cheeseburger from there. And I kid you not, and y'all could text Jacqueline and ask her, the bottom bun for that little cheeseburger, ding, you could have drove nails with that thing. And it wasn't like it was over toasted. It's like that's one they found under a deep fryer or something. The thing had to have been there since they opened the store.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Billy, I'm proud of you, and I'm glad this is getting better. When does this officially get to be off permanently?
I started physical therapy Monday, and I go back today. So,
what is it? What is the fit? They get a ball.
Well,
and you move it
what they did to me the other day is, of course, she. At first, she thought I didn't have the sling on, and she was getting ready to rip me a new one. And then she saw that I did have the sling on, and then she asked me if I've been moving it. And of course, I'm like, yeah. And that apparently I'm not supposed to move it. I mean, who knew, right? Mm-hmm. And then they made me lay on. It was like this big bed thing, but it was like a vinyl material, and they had like a protractor looking deal, and they were measuring how much they could move it before it caused me any discomfort.
Huh.
And this woman is like totally nice lady. And we finally realized that we kind of knew each other. Our parents really knew each other. But anyway, I lost my train of thought there. But they were shocked that I don't have any pain. And she's like, what about after the surgery? I'm like, no.
I'm done
the
with
most painful thing was the pain block where they shot me in the neck. And I still don't think I've recovered from that. But yeah, in like my range of motion or whatever. So shout out to Dr. Spa, Either he did a really good job or he didn't hook nothing back up. One of the two. Spa. But not like SPS, like SPAW.
I was about to say, that sounds relaxing.
Yeah. Come visit Dr. Spa. Like he should have a sale on hot tubs. Come down to Dr. Spa. No, he's a really cool guy.
That's cool.
And his PA is... she's the one that I saw before and saw after. He just did the surgery, but yeah.
All right. Well, Billy, it's been a fun morning, brother. Excited about all the things that's happening in our community and really excited about all that y'all are doing at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Thank you. It's been fun this morning, man.
Yeah, it's kind of nice just to hang out and BS sometime.
Yeah, need that. Well, friends, that'll wrap it up. Great week here on the program. We've had a lot of guests today just hanging out, but next week, a busy week as well as we get closer and closer to Christmas. And please follow the Spirit Radio FM Facebook and Instagram accounts as well, as we are doing 30 days of prayer. I think we're down to 25 days to go before we launch.
Oh, 25. Okay, I was going to ask if we're all...
26 days, because 31st. Yeah, 26 days of prayer remaining. So, and that's when we flip the switch on January the 1st.
You should have had that thing set up like Times Square there would be a ball that we could drop.
Oh, that'd be cool. We still got time.
Climb up there and do that.
Be cool on the tower. You had to have it come down. All right. Well, hey.
Be our luck, one of the guards over there would shoot it.
Yeah, I think it's some drone or something coming in. Well, we'll see you back at it Monday at 7:30. Remember, too, Safe House having their grand opening of the new resale shop. That will take place at 10 a.m. I'll be over there here in about an hour or so. And for Billy CAUTHEN, I'm Rob Hipp, reminding you this morning, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We're really not. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you. Until next time, we'll see you Monday. Good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. See you, Billy. Thanks, man.
See you.